Hi, everybody. Welcome to Chapter 2, Section 2.1. Section 2.1 is about writing equations. Notice our objective. We're going to translate equations and verbal sentences. You probably remember this from Section 1.1, so we don't have a lot to talk about because this was exactly the same. We just add the equation part to the Section 1.1 expression part. So first of all, an equation is a mathematical statement with an equal sign. We all know that, right? Equation equals. And it can be solved so we can get an actual answer. Chapter 2 is all about solving equations. And go back, pull out section 1.1 notes for all those clue words. What's product? What's over or a fraction? What does of mean? Total, quotient, all those clue words, because we're going to use those all over again. We don't need to go back through them because we've already done them. So this first set of examples, it says to translate each sentence into an equation. Actually, you know what? Let me back up real quick because there's one thing that we should add to note section 1.1, which is equals. Clue words for equals is, that's the big one. The actual word equals is equal to, is the same as. But notice all of those have is in them. So equals or the word is are really your two big clue words in addition to our 1.1 notes. So now let's talk about this. Let's do one or two of these. It says to translate each sentence into an equation. I didn't ask you to solve them. I'll ask you to do that later. So 1a, it says 7 times a number squared is 5 times the difference of k and m. The first thing I do is I look for the is or the equal sign. So our equal sign is right here. That way I kind of can deal with each half of the equation separately. So to the left of that is 7 times the number squared. Well, we all know how to do that, right? 7, you can put the times if you want. We don't know a number, so I'm going to use x squared. You can use any variable you like. We've got our is down, so then on this side, 5 times the difference of k and m. Notice there's our clue word for parentheses. So I know I'm going to have parentheses. 5 times that difference gives me a 5 on the outside. The difference of k and m, everybody remembers that difference means subtract, right? Pull out those old notes if you need to for those, you know, clue words, whatever those things are. Let's do number C, letter C. 15 times a number subtracted from 80 is 25. So look for your is. Here's our is. The right side of that is awfully easy to complete. We know it's going to be equal to 25. Over on the other side, these ones are a good one to think about. 15 times a number subtracted from 80. So this is a good one because subtraction, sometimes you got to check the order. We know that 15 times a number is going to be 15x. We know that 80 is 80. What order do we subtract? Are we starting with the 80 and are we taking away 15x? Or are we starting with the 15x and subtracting 80? 15 times a number subtracted from that 80. Well, that means we're starting with the 80 and we're taking away the 15x. So just looking for those clue words, finding the is or the equal to, and then you go from there. These ones translate each equation into a sentence. Well, this one we got pretty good. I think everybody will be okay with those. I'm not even going to run through any of those examples because I don't think that we need to. I think that you could put those into words yourself. How about this one though? 3a. It says to write an equation for the statement, then solve. There are a couple possible equations we could write. There's approximately 87,000 airplane flights in the US daily. How many days will it take for 261,000 flights to occur? So we could go about this two ways. We could say 87,000 flights a day times X days, right? It's asking how many days. will give us that 261,000. So there's an equation. However, I'd be willing to bet that a lot of you aren't going to think of it that way. You're just going to go right to dividing. Anybody going right to dividing? I'd be willing to bet that I would see some 261,000 divided by 87,000. It does tell you to write an equation, so I know I have an equal sign in here. Well, if we don't know what it's going to be equal to, we just make it into an x, and now we can do the division, and that'll tell us how many days it'll take for 261,000 flights to occur. Grab your calculators, do a little math. It should come out to a nice, neat number. I think it's going to take 3 days. Check my math. I do mess up on those. So how about 3B? A jelly bean manufacturer produces 1,250,000 jelly beans per hour. How long will it take to produce 10 million jelly beans? So how long? We could write a multiplying equation, or we could do it just straight to division. Do you see what division we're going to end up doing? 10 million jelly beans is what we're looking for. And we know that they can do 1,250,000 per hour. And if we do that math problem, that's going to tell us how long it will take to produce those 10 million. So go ahead and do the math. I think this one comes out to a pretty okay number, doesn't it? 8. What's my label on that 8? I forgot to put a label on the last one. 8 what? 8 days? 8 months, 8 weeks, 8 minutes. What is our label for 8 for 10 million jelly beans? 8 hours will get us 10 million jelly beans. This one's an interesting one. I want to save the C. Give it a try, but I want to save that one because that's a good one with that extra $5. So let's wrap this guy up. This is an easy beginning, right? Tell me 2 other words for equal. Well, for that symbol. And practice problem. Write that out in words. I think everybody can handle this. Have a great day. We'll see you later. Next time, section 2-2.